We are starting a series of lectures on embryology. Hello, I am Dr. Azaz from medicovisual.com. Welcome to this visual lecture. In this lecture, we will discuss that what is embryology and some terms that are related with embryology. So today we will discuss what is an embryo, what is a zygote, and what is a fetus. These three terms are quite confusing. So I want to clear the concept at the very beginning of this lecture series, right? Then we will discuss that what is embryology and what is developmental biology, and then some other terms related with reference, right? A human, it consists of about 200 trillion cells. And this multicellular organism that is made up of that much cells, it originates from only a single cell. And this single cell from which the complete organism originates, it is formed by fusion of male and female gametes. The male gamete sperm and female gamete ovum, right? And when they fuses, when they undergo the process of fertilization, when they conjugate, the cell that is formed is called zygote. Zygote literally means to conjugate. So from zygote, complete organism is formed. Zygote, so what is the definition of zygote? Zygote is a cell that is formed by fusion of male and female gamete. It is a cell that is formed by process of fertilization, and it has potential to form all the cells of an organism. It has potential to form complete organism. It is totipotent. It has potential to form total cells of an organism, right? So this is zygote. And what is an embryo? As the zygote grows and differentiates, it forms first a ball of cell, and then we will discuss later that then there is cavity is formed, and then it starts implanting into the uterine wall of female, of the mother, right? After the process of implantation, it is now called embryo, right? According to literature, before the process of implantation, it is also called embryo, but that is pre-implantation embryo, right? And after the process of implantation is the actual embryo. So zygote is an embryo or not?
Yes, it is an embryo.
Yes, zygote is an embryo. Zygote is single-celled embryo, single-celled pre-implantation embryo. Zygote is single-celled pre-implantation embryo, right? Then embryo what happens during developmental stages of embryo is that the primordial structures are formed from which different organ system originates, and then primordia of different organs are formed from it, right? Now at this stage you can see it does not quite resembles the actual human baby, but at about 9th week of gestation, I mean 9th week after fertilization, at about 9th week after fertilization, it actually starts to resemble the baby of organism to which it belongs. In this case, it starts to resemble human baby. But it is not just resembling the human, but most of the organ systems have been developed up till now, right? Above this point, they start to differentiate and grow further. They have developed, but they differentiate and grow further. So at this point, at 9th week of gestation, the embryo is given a new name, and this new name is called fetus. Why it is given new name? Because it starts to resemble the actual organism. It starts to resemble the baby. Now you know what is zygote, what is an embryo, and what is a fetus. Now let's discuss that what is an embryology. What do you think? What is an embryology? Yes.
It's the study of an embryo.
Yeah, it's study of an embryo. Most people think that it is study of embryo, as its name indicate that it's the scientific study of an embryo. But this is incomplete definition. Actually, embryology is not that simple. Embryology is study of developmental stages of an organism, starting from development of gametes, male and female gametes, till the birth of the newborn. So in embryology, what we discuss, it includes the scientific study of development of gametes, development of sperm and ovum, fertilization, study of embryo, study of fetus, and the birth process, that is parturition. So study of embryo is just one aspect of embryology. It is one aspect of embryology, but we have to study all these things in embryology. Fetus, study of fetus is also called fetology, and it is considered to be a sub branch of embryology. We can study embryology at two levels: general embryology and systemic embryology. In general embryology, we study the synthesis or creation of primordia of different organ systems, the bilaminar and trilaminar germ disc. We will discuss these things later. And in general embryology, we do not focus on development of a particular system. We don't study it system wise, but we study it in a chronological order, that what happens on week 0, what happens on week 1, week 2, week 3, month 1, month 2, and so on. In this way we study embryology in general embryology. But in systemic embryology, we study system wise. We study the development of different systems, the development of cardiovascular system, the development of GIT, respiratory system, and so on. System wise we study that, right? Now you cannot study systemic embryology directly without understanding the basics, the general embryology, the basic understanding of formation of different primordial structures. So first we will discuss general embryology, and then we will discuss systemic embryology, right? Then embryology can be given a name according to the organism whose embryology we are studying, right? For example, we are right now studying human embryology, but interestingly the embryology of human, it resembles quite a lot with that of any other mammal, right? Then there is medical embryology or clinical embryology. In medical or clinical embryology, we don't study just these things, but we try to apply the basic concepts of these things with clinical with the clinical stuff. Their clinical applications are also studied along with these basic things, right? So also we will discuss in clinical and medical embryology, we will also discuss that how different drugs or different chemicals lead to different malformations in the baby. And this branch of clinical embryology is called teratology, right? So we are discussing human embryology, but we are also discussing medical human embryology or clinical human embryology, right? Then there is a term called developmental biology. Is it same as embryology? No, it is not same. Embryology starts from development of gametes up till the birth of baby. So this development, do you think development ends when a baby is born?
No.
No, otherwise we all would have been a baby up till now. So we do not remain baby, fortunately, or unfortunately we develop into a complete adult human, and then we become an old man or woman, and we have to die one day as well. So embryology is up till here, but developmental biology, it also includes the developmental stages that transforms a newborn into a child, and then child into an adult, and then adult into a old man or woman, right? So developmental biology, it includes all these stages as well, but embryology is a subset. You can say embryology is a subset of developmental biology. You have a question?
Then what is developmental anatomy?
Yeah, there is a term that is called developmental anatomy. It is a field of study, and developmental anatomy is a subset, it is a branch of developmental biology. And in developmental biology we study not just anatomy, we also study the genetics of this process of development. We study the molecular biology of these steps, right? That how different genes work together to transform an organism from let's say child to an adult, and so on, right? For example, the genetics of aging process, the molecular biology of aging process, and all these things. But in developmental anatomy we only study the structural changes that occur when uh, transformation occurs, when this transformation occurs. For example, fontanelles are closed, and what is the process of closure of fontanelles, all these things we discuss in developmental biology and developmental anatomy. Similarly, Zephyr sternum ossifies in old age. All these things are related with developmental anatomy. It is a branch of developmental biology. But if we discuss that what genes are involved in, let's say, aging process, that is developmental genetics, you can say, or developmental molecular biology rather, right? Then there are few terms that are related with this embryology, right? Let's suppose if we divide this embryo into front and back part, right? Anything that we equally divide it into two parts. So anything that lies towards the belly on the interior side is called ventral, right? Vent means belly, and anything that lies behind this plane is called dorsal. Dorsum means back. Similarly, we can divide it into two equal parts, upper and lower parts, right? So skull is also called cranium. So anything that is superior or above this part, it is called cranial, and anything that is below this part towards this tail end, caudal mean tail, towards the tail, so caudal is inferior or below this plane. Why we have introduced these terms? To make a subject confusing for you? No, it is not. In adult anatomy we call this ventral as interior, and dorsal as posterior, and superior and inferior. But why this confusing terminology is used here? Actually, let's suppose this is a female legs, and this is, she is pregnant right now, and in her womb, you can say that here a baby is lying. Now my question is that this is the actual presentation of baby inside. Now here you can see the head of baby, The head of baby's cranial or caudal should be called
Cranial.
cranial. Yeah, head of the baby is cranial. But it is superior or inferior? It is inferior. With reference to adult anatomy, it is inferior. It is lying downward. So to avoid the confusion with adult anatomy, to avoid the confusion with anatomy of female body, we use these terms ventral, cranial, caudal, right? So that we avoid this confusion. So it is not to confuse you, but to avoid the confusion, right? Finally, I would like to discuss that who this lecture series is for. This lecture series is mainly for medical and dental students. Embryology is mostly taught as a beginner course, as a primer course in usually first year of medical school. So during this lecture series, I will assume that you don't know anything about embryology. So I will start it with very basic concept at a very basic level. Anyone who is interested in studying the developmental stages of a human, he or she is most welcome to join this lecture, whether or not he is medical or dental student, because I think most of you will be able to understand it with a little background of science. This lecture series will also be helpful for postgrad students and professionals as well. But you may find it a bit boring, so you can use timestamps or you can speed up the playback speed of this lectures. Thank you so much for watching this lecture. If you like this video, please press the thumbs up button and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also, please give your comments regarding this video and please do support me on Patreon.